Prairie Street Prime Culinary Kitchen, where we are cooking kosher with me, Chef Kendra. Today we are using Prairie Street Prime's Kosher Outer Skirt Steak to make this delicious marinated outer skirt steak with Charoset Compote. It's a quick and easy, yet elegant and decadent meal fit for any Passover table. This recipe is a delicious twist on tradition. Before we get started, let's get to know this cut of meat. Prairie Street Prime is always bringing us the best in kosher meat, and this new outer skirt steak cut is no exception. You can see that while this is a thinner cut, it is still wrapped with ribbons of that quintessential marbling and glorious fat. The grain of the skirt steak is looser and longer, making it a perfect candidate for marinating because all those bits of delicious ingredients like garlic and herbs get caught between these long fibers. It's a perfect cut for grilling or searing like we're doing today. So let's do this. Season with coarse kosher salt, freshly ground black pepper, and a healthy drizzle of kosher EVOO. Plunk it all into a few Ziploc bags or a mixing bowl if you prefer. Put your seasoned meat with our finely minced garlic, bay leaves, fresh thyme, and a little more of that fragrant olive oil. Mix and let sit in the fridge for about 30 minutes to 2 hours. Part 2, our Charoset Compote. Charoset is a beloved traditional relish served at the Passover Seder. Our compote uses elements from the Sephardic version, which is prepared with dates, nuts, and cinnamon. I'm using Honeycrisp apples because they are a hardier apple that won't get too mushy when cooked. Here are my chopped medjool dates for a nice deep sweetness. And I like to add in some thyme to complement the savoriness of the meat. In a medium saucepan over medium heat, put it all together. Kosher red wine, mine is a dry Bordeaux, but you can use something sweet if you'd like. The dates, a cinnamon stick. This way I can pull it out, but it will still give off just a hint of that je ne sais quoi. My fresh thyme, and a little pinch of kosher coarse salt to just bring it all together. Stir. All right, let this cook for about 15 minutes so the alcohol burns off, and then you can turn the heat down to low. Time for the meat. I've got my fave heavy bottom skillet preheated on a medium to high heat and a bunch of marinated skirt steak that is ready to be seared and served. I'm taking these directly from the fridge out of the bag and into this hot pan. Now, you'll see I'm going to cook these a little longer than I would for a rare temp, but why? Because these longer fibers are actually a bit fatter than from other areas of the animal, and the medium temperature, about 130 to 135 degrees Fahrenheit, will actually shrink the diameter of the fibers, making them tender and keeping them juicy. It's just going to give us that nice, unctuous bite that we all know and love. Here we go, right into the pan. As you can see, all of these cuts are a bit different in size, so their cook times are going to be slightly different. Just stay on it and check them. Baff, see? Look at that caramelization. That's what I'm talking about. Don't forget your meat thermometer. Slide it into the thickest part of the meat and look for your 130 degree Fahrenheit temp. Perfection. All right, get these guys out and let them rest. Okay, we're almost there. Let's toast up some nuts. While walnuts are typically mixed in with the charoset, I didn't want them to get mealy, so I'm toasting them separately, chopping them up, and using them as a topping for the dish. I'm gonna start them in this small skillet and heat it all up together. Now, you have to use all of your senses while cooking nuts because these bad boys are high in fatty oil and will fry up fast. See, all right, now I'm getting that nice fragrance. Look at that shine. All right, good, and out. Let them cool for just a sec, and then roughly chop. Alrighty, time to plate. Oh my gosh, look at this. See how when I cut it against the grain, it just falls apart? that is going to fall apart in your mouth. It's so tender and it's so juicy. It's perfect. Place this over top of some just really simply oven roasted potatoes, olive oil and salt, nothing to it. All right, and now for a nice helping of our Charoset Compote, just right on top. All right, can't forget these perfectly toasted walnuts. Just crumble and sprinkle them right on top. We have some really nice textures happening on this dish as well. And I'll just brighten it up with a little bit of chopped fresh parsley. All right, come on, people. That is luxury right there. You cannot beat this dish. It's an interesting and fun take on a traditional meal. Totally simple, totally elegant. All right, now I have to get a bite that has everything on it because it's just such an interesting combination. Typically when you think of like fruit along with a meat, it's more like a chicken, something like that, like a lighter meat. But this skirt steak with the apple and the wine and the walnut and the garlic and the thyme and the bay leaf, it just makes it so earthy and delicious. It's like taking a bite of spring. So, meat, apple, some walnut. Yeah, here we go. Oh my God. Awesome. Just total luxury. Very, very elegant. And you saw how quickly all that could come together. It's another great thing about this skirt steak. You don't have to have a lot of time. And look at this meal. I mean, seriously, it took maybe, aside from the marinating process, all of an hour between prep and then finish. Totally simple. I hope that you give this a try at your next Passover meal. And for all of our recipes, be sure to check in the description below. Leave us some comments, let us know what your thoughts are, and be sure to join us every Sunday right here on youtube.com/Prairie Street Prime at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. See you next week. Happy Passover!
Subscribe to our channel now and set your notifications so you don't miss our latest recipes and chef-led tutorials. Then head over to prairiestreetprime.com to shop for your next big meal.